Hey everybody, welcome. All right, I'm gonna try this again. I was 8 minutes into recording and all of a sudden my camera just shut off. I have no idea what happened, so we're gonna start all over again. Instead of doing two separate videos, we're just gonna start over again. So, good morning or afternoon or evening, whenever you're watching this, welcome. Today's video is going to be strength training with hand weights or whatever you have available. If you don't have hand weights like this, or you haven't purchased any, I don't know why I'm fumbling. I'm a little bit flustered over that last video, so excuse me about that. The camera just cut out on me, so I'm starting over again. Anyway, hand weights or whatever you have that is weighted. So soup cans, water jugs, pet food, whatever you have available that's a few pounds, you can use that. And then I have the squeezy ball too, which you can get if you don't have one. It's just an inflated ball, so you can get that like at a toy store or something like that. Or a sporting goods store, they have them too. It's just a little squishy ball. So we're going to be using that. And of course, I want to give our usual disclaimers. Make sure that you do have some water, that you stay hydrated before, during, and after your workout. Make sure that you take time to do warm up, cool down, stretching. I have all of those videos, of course. Go check some of those out. We have the stretching, the meditation, the yoga, the cardio. Check some of those out to complete your workout throughout your week. I am going to be using the chair, so make sure that you have the sturdy chair available. No wheels, not going to roll on you, not going to move on you, anything like that. You have your workout area clear of any tripping hazards or clutter. And if you need sturdy shoes, go ahead and do that. Please go ahead and pause and do that. And let's go ahead and start and get you going on this. So, all right, we're going to begin with our hand weights or whatever you have available here. And we're going to be starting with one in each hand, feet down flat on the floor, and sitting a little bit forward in the chair. So just warming up the back and the abdominals. We're going to bring the shoulders back, lean forward, and then come all the way up and just very lightly tap the back of the chair. Make sure you're breathing through it, very important. So the general advice is to exhale on the exertion, inhale on the release, but just breathe whatever feels right for you. Just make sure that you are comfortably and steadily breathing throughout. And of course, as always, work at your own pace. If you need to slow down, modify, or take a break, feel free to do that. At any time, again, stay hydrated. And don't forget to check out some of those other videos. If you haven't already, make sure that you are following my YouTube channel and click that notification bell, like and subscribe on YouTube or on Facebook, if you're watching on Facebook. All right, so we are going to take this intensity up a little bit here. We're going to add a row and a press. Row, come up, lean back, press, come down, and lean forward and release. Row, lean back, press, come down, forward, and release. Now I do have some jazz music in the background today. It's the one I could find that didn't seem to be full of commercial breaks, which the other one I wanted to use, it looked like every few minutes we were going to have to listen to an ad. So I wanted to find something that just would play without that happening. Now make sure that you're breathing through it. Press, release, and forward. Row, lean back. This is your last one. All right, so let's go ahead and just do some rows. Now we are going to add some more lower body here further on in the workout. So we'll do a little bit more full body, but for right now, just focusing on upper body and core. Now I'm going to turn the palms to the rear. Now I am leaning forward, resting with my chest on my legs. You don't have to come all the way forward. Lean halfway forward if you want, whatever is most comfortable to you. We are going out wide now, so hitting those lats a little bit more, but you want to make sure that you're relaxing your neck. So go ahead and just look down. Keep a neutral neck. Breathing. One more. All right, good job. Go ahead and come all the way up. We're gonna do our punch across next. So you're gonna sit up super tall, lengthen the spine, and working on abs, chest, and shoulders. We've got that rotation there, working on those obliques. We are gonna do a little bit more targeted ab on the next one, but for right now, go ahead and punch out, punch across. Keep breathing through it. Make sure that you're not shrugging your shoulders up towards your ears. Good. 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, so let's do that ab targeted one next. I'll show you some different variations that you can do. So starting with the weights up close to the body, lean back, and we're gonna do our rotation, and then we're gonna add our knee lift in. So opposite elbow to knee. Try to use your abdominals to lift your leg, all right? Think about using the abdominals. You can do it with a straighter leg if you want to increase the intensity and the challenge. And you can also straighten the arms if you want to increase the challenge a little bit more. So lever arm principle is in effect here. The more you extend the arms and the legs, the more challenging this is going to be. But your main focus is using the abdominals for this one. 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, good job. Go ahead and hydrate if you haven't yet. Moving on to our tricep exercise. Let's go ahead and move back in the chair for this one. I'll show you a couple of different variations. The first one is going to be the overhead. So if your shoulders are okay with this, you're going to take one or both of your weights, elbows up toward the ceiling, and very, very carefully coming behind the head. Make sure you don't hit yourself with your weights or strain your neck. You're going to keep squeezing those elbows in towards each other. Now, if you have any problem with this, if your shoulders don't like the overhead position, you can switch to a tricep kickback. So again, we're just extending and straightening the arms all the way out without moving the shoulders. So same muscle group, back of the arms. The key here is the extension. That's what the triceps do. They extend the arms. So again, pick whichever variation works for you. If you're doing the overhead, I would recommend supporting your back against the back of your chair, but you're going to get a little ab work in there as well. 3, 2, and 1. All right, so go ahead and bring your weight or weights down, and let's do a little bit of seated lower body here. So starting with the bent knee leg lift, you're resting against the back of your chair for support. We've got quadricep, and then we've got a little hip flexor here. So this variation does target the hip flexor a little bit more than the extended leg lift does. Keep breathing through it. You always want to make sure that you're not holding your breath. And now come out and in. So now we're taking some of that focus to the outer glute area. So that those stabilizer muscles, glute medius, glute minimus in the top outer part, and outer thigh as well, abductors. All right, go ahead and switch sides. We're going to start with the lift and lower. Make sure that you're resting your weights above your knee joint. We never want to put pressure on the knee itself. And again, you're focusing on nice, steady lift and lower, quadricep, hip flexor, the top of the thigh. Breathing through it. Let's go ahead and tap out and in. So just go out as wide as you can without having to scoot around in your chair. Good. Make sure you're breathing and just judge how you're feeling. How hard are you working? You want to feel like you're working pretty hard, but that you can keep doing it. It shouldn't be easy, but it shouldn't be impossible either. Last one. All right, good job. Okay, so let's go ahead and move a little bit forward in our chair. We're going to do a lean back bicep curl next, and we're going to do our figure 8 curls today. So you're going to sit up tall, lean back without using the back of your chair for support. So that little extra ab workout, we're going to do palms up, palms in for the first part, okay? Now, even though you're using the abs here, we still have to breathe. Make sure you're breathing through it. You should be able to talk. That is a good indicator that you are breathing, of course. But the abs should be working here. The biceps should be working here. The neck is relaxed. The shoulders are down away from the ears. Arms are tucked in by the sides. Let's switch so that you're doing palms up and palms in. Up and in. Good. One more. Nice. All right. From here, just go ahead and sit up. We're going to go right into that rotator cuff because we basically have the same arm position, but now we're just doing an external rotation. You still want to keep those upper arms locked in by your sides. Make sure that you're not lifting them away from your body, and then do alternating arm on top. Now, if you can't open as wide, that's okay. Just work at your own level here. Good. Just a couple more of those. All right, and then let's do our 45-degree lateral raise. So you're going to be leaning forward just slightly, slight elbow bend, push the weights away from your body, hold for just a second, and then we're going to come down just 3/4 of the way. So we're going to make sure that we're not resting at the bottom. It's a very common thing that I see is people will do 1 rep and then lower all the way down, take a second or two rest before they go into the next one, and you're much more effective just keeping the tension on the muscles and completing your set. You'll get done faster. It might feel a little bit more challenging, but it's going to be more effective for the muscles. So make sure that you're not just resting or pausing at the bottom of this movement. You can hold a little bit at the top because that's where the tension is on the muscles. And again, a slight elbow bend is fine if that's comfortable for you. I'm going 45 degrees, so not all the way out to the side and not all the way to the front. Last one. Okay, now I am going to do a front raise here just very briefly, and this is going to be the lift and pour. All right, so we're combining front deltoid and rotator cuff here. Now you want to use a fairly light weight, so if this is feeling pretty crazy to you, you can either just use body weight, or if you have some lighter weights, this is going to be a little bit more challenge. Good. Let's just do one more, lift and pour. All right, so I am going to do a stand-up sit-down for the next one. If for whatever reason that you don't feel like you can or would like to do that, you can just do a seated march during this time. All right, if you're going to do the stand-up sit-down, I'm going to go ahead and scoot back a little bit. You don't have to do anything with your weights in particular, but what I want you to check is as you're coming up and as you're coming down, check your form in a mirror or a camera, or if you have someone there with you, make sure that your knees are not dropping in towards each other. It's very, very common to see that. So I want you to check your form. And of course, just a light tap down, squeeze the glutes on the way up, and the weight is in the heels. All right? So nice form here. I'm not dropping the torso too far forward. Good. Keep breathing through it. One more. Excellent. All right, so go ahead and put your weights aside, grab some water, hydrate, and then grab your ball. And again, if you don't have one, you can skip this part, come back to it later. These are fairly easy to find. Again, toy store, or toy department at a store, or sporting goods. This one needs a little bit of air, but it'll work for what we're doing with it today. So we're going to start with some grip strength, which is just the fingers squeezing. All right, so anything that you have that is like inflated or foam or anything that you can work on your grip strength of your fingers, your hands, your wrists, and your forearms. Squeeze, squeeze. I think I'm going to take this one in to work and use my needle pump to inflate it a little bit more. It's kind of sad, but it has been over a year since I bought these, and since I'm not able to have my senior classes right now, I've just got them at home, but clearly it still needs a little pump up. But you also don't want to have it too firm, because I've noticed when they're too firm, people can't hang on to them. They're a little bit too hard to press. So there is definitely kind of the happy medium there. All right, let's go ahead and just do our toss and catch. This is hand-eye coordination, in case you were wondering. I am going to add a march to it. You don't have to do the march if that gets a little crazy for you. Now, if you want to add a challenge, go ahead and add a clap before you catch your ball. All right, so again, these are all options for you. These are all options. You can try a double clap if you want a super challenge. One more. All right, now I'm going to stop the march. I am going to go back to the toss and catch, but we're going to add a depth perception challenge. So we're just doing the toss and catch, but now you're going to close one eye and see what happens when you do that. See how that takes out your depth perception. So it's more challenging there. And then open that eye and close the other eye. Of course, if you have any kind of dizziness or motion sickness, please just open both eyes. All right, go ahead and open both, and then we're just going to do our side to side. So challenge yourself with the height and the width on this. Again, hand-eye coordination here. Whoop! Didn't work so well on that one. I'm challenging myself too much. 4, 3, 2. All right, I think it's time to move on. Let's go ahead and put it between the legs above the knees. If you have a little bigger ball, totally fine. You know, a lot of times you'll have a larger one. It doesn't have to be little. You have a bigger one, as long as you're able to get some give to it and squeeze. So right now, we're working on inner thigh and pelvic floor. So I've had a couple of clients lately that their physical therapist was having them work on the pelvic floor. So that's what we're working on here. So we're tightening through the inner thigh, engaging that pelvic floor. Squeeze, release. Squeeze, release. Good. Now squeeze and hold, and we're just going to do a little march here, holding on to the ball. March here, holding on to the ball. And then we're going to do a little toes in and out. So I've still got that ball there. See if you can keep hanging on to it. Just a little mobility for the ankles. And then heels in and out. Same thing. A little mobility for the ankles. And now alternating. So toes, heels, toes, heels, toes, heels, toes, heels. Good job. One more set. Okay, go ahead and take that ball out. We are going to do some standing exercises with it. Hydrate if you haven't yet. Make sure I'm going to move my weights out of the way so that it doesn't create a tripping hazard. You are still going to be using your chair. Of course, if you prefer to not do the seated portion, this is of course completely optional, but we're going to add a little bit more full body balance and coordination here. So if you do want more challenge than using the ball, feel free to go back to the hand weights if you feel like you really want to get that full body intense workout. But otherwise, we are going to be doing what I call the drinking bird, which is going to be focusing on the strength of the stabilizer muscles in the glutes and also all the way down the leg, through the ankle, the foot, the balance, the whole works. So you do want to make sure that you are stable on your foot, so you have the toes spread out in your shoe, you're stable through the front and back of the foot. We are going to be reaching. Now this is my bad foot, so I'm going to use a little chair support, but reach down as far as you can, and then come all the way up and bring the knee up. If you're good without any balance support, you do not have to use your chair or your wall or whatever you're standing next to. Feeling good. Now, if you find that you're having trouble here, one thing that you can do is make sure that your ankle is not falling in, that you're not pronating. So really lift up through your arch, make sure you roll that ankle to the neutral position so that it's not pronating. Very, very common. More people pronate than supinate. Good. All right. One more. we're just gonna do some leg circles. So you can hold on to your chair if you need it, and then we're gonna add a toss and catch with one hand this time. Again, you don't have to use your chair or wall for support if you don't need it. All right, let's circle the other way. The leg circles is the primary focus, but we're gonna add the hand-eye coordination back in here. One more. All right, great job. Go ahead and shake that leg out. We're gonna move around to the other side of the chair. Or if you're using the wall, go ahead and just turn around. Okay, so shifting our weight again to the inside leg. Remember when you're shifting to one leg that your center of gravity is not in the center, it's over here. So that will also help you balance as well. So just kind of that mental shift, reaching down. And then, so you'll notice I'm a little bit more balanced on this side because this is my quote unquote good foot. That doesn't mean it's perfect, but it doesn't have the injury that the other foot had. So I'm not having to use the chair as much, although I am just slightly leaning against it. But I feel much more stable on this side. And most people will have one side that is stronger and more stable than the other. And that could even vary day to day, depending on what's going on with you. You may have a day that you feel more balanced and a day that you feel not so balanced. Just try not to get frustrated with that. Good, drinking bird. I call it that because those little lawn ornaments that do the tip forward and the up, I don't know if you've seen those, but anyway. Okay, so let's go ahead and switch to our leg circles. We are still balancing on the inside leg, and then we're going to add that toss and catch again. And now circling the leg the other direction, adding that toss and catch back in again. Good. All right, very nice work. Let's go ahead and shake that leg out, come around behind our chair, or if you're next to a wall, you can go ahead and face it. We're gonna put the ball back between the legs here. All right, and then starting with a heel raise, toe raise. Heels, toes. So see how much range of motion you can get, and again, you're gonna check your form. So the ball is gonna help keep your knees from dropping in, but again, check to make sure that your ankles aren't rolling in. It's very, very common, especially if you don't have a lot of support on your shoes, or like me, if you have low arches that don't give you a lot of support. So check that, make sure that you're not dropping in. Roll those ankles back to neutral position. One more. All right, let's go ahead and do some squats from here. So if this feels weird or uncomfortable with the ball, you don't have to use the ball. But again, it's just helping to keep the knees from dropping in as you do the squat. All right, so just like before when we did the sit down, stand up, we want to make sure that we keep the good form, sitting back in the heels, sticking the tailbone back behind, weight is in the heels, torso is lifted up, chin is lifted up. You don't want to be dropping the torso forward on this one. But you do want to squeeze the glutes on the way up. So the glute max is the power for your lower body. So make sure that you're taking advantage of that. You're using that. Come all the way up, but just like when we were doing that lateral raise earlier, make sure that you're not actually resting in between reps. So if you feel like you are, and you are kind of not engaging the muscle at the top, you can just come up 3/4 of the way, go right into your next one, okay? 3/4 of the way, right into your next one. So again, that's gonna make the movement faster and more challenging, but more effective. Nice. All right, go ahead and put that ball aside, shake your legs out. We're just gonna finish with some lunges here. So we're gonna do 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. You can use the chair if you need it for balance support. This may be a little bit more of a balance challenge for you. But you are gonna point the toes of both feet forward, lift that back heel up. So instead of thinking of just bending the front knee, you wanna think of lifting the back heel and lowering that back knee down towards the floor. and then come back up. And again, you're using the glutes. Weight is in your front heel, but don't be afraid to lower that back knee. Again, I see this all the time where people are just trying to keep that back heel down, bend the front knee, and it's very awkward, and it's not what we're looking for at all. So think of lowering that back knee down towards the floor. Of course, stay in your pain-free range of motion. So if you have any knee issues, stop before you get to the point of pain. Partials are always okay if you need to do that. But this is just a fantastic lower body exercise. Go ahead and shake out. We'll switch sides. It's a compound exercise, so it's working multiple muscle groups. All right, so the other foot forward. And for this one, we are going to keep the torso up tall. We don't need to lean forward at all. The weight is in the front heel. However, you have that back heel lifted up and that knee dropping down towards the floor. Torso is up tall, shoulders are relaxed down. You don't have to use the chair if you don't need it. Good. Again, think of dropping that back knee down and then squeezing the glutes on the way back up. Let's do one more. Great job, everybody. All right, go ahead and shake out both of your legs. It is time to do a couple of stretches here. Since we're right here, let's do our downward facing dog. This is, of course, our modified downward dog, so it's just a big step back with both feet. I use this probably in every single video because it's one of my favorite stretches, but it's a really great way to do downward dog without having to be down on the floor. All right, and then slowly come up. Make sure you keep your head above your heart on any of these. Come around to your chair. Hydrate if you haven't for a little bit here. And let's do a couple more stretches. And of course, again, go ahead and grab the back of your chair. We're going to do our shoulders rotating back, slight arch of that lower back. Look up. Just go to comfortable stretch there. And then let it go. And just relax forward. So you're just relaxing your back. If you would rather just hug your legs, you can do that too. Whatever feels right for you, relax your neck. And again, I have lots and lots of videos. This will be number 72, if you can believe that. Good thing I started numbering them. Go check out some of those other videos for variety. Maybe they're ones that you haven't seen in a year. Hopefully my videotaping ability has improved a little bit. I know that first one was pretty chaotic. The cardio one, which was my very first video, was pretty chaotic, and I was even making the mistake of using copyrighted music, so we're not going to do that anymore. But go ahead and stretch the legs forward. I have the soles of my feet down for the first part, so you're going to reach towards your ankles. Anyway, there's lots and lots of options for you. So again, follow, like, subscribe, all that great stuff. Thank you for hanging out with me all the way to the end today. Click that little notification bell if you're on YouTube. I'm told the algorithms will show it to more people. If you do that, I don't know. But thank you to my new subscribers. I saw that I've got a couple new subscribers, so thank you for that. All right, so toes lifting up towards the knees now. I didn't cue that, but toes lifting up towards the knees so that we're stretching the calves. However, it's totally okay to bend your knees. And again, I have the complete stretching videos in some of the other, lots and lots of other videos, so take advantage of some of those. Make sure you get your flexibility in. Make sure you get your mind-body in. Make sure you get your cardio in at some point during the week. Doesn't need to be on the same day, but at some point during the week. Or go outside and take a walk. When I'm recording this, we had a fantastic day, 70 degrees yesterday. So get a walk in maybe before the rain comes back. Happy April 1st, but no April Fool's jokes today for me. I can't stand those, so I'm not going to do them. All right, let's go ahead and do a nice little upper body back stretch. Leaning to one side, great big reach, reach, reach. Another side. Come back to center, stretch the shoulders back, and down. All right, you made it to the end. It is time for our final stretch. Inhale, exhale, one more time. Inhale, and exhale, and shake everything out. All right, everybody, make sure that you do hydrate throughout the rest of your day. Carry a water bottle with you. It does help. And have an awesome rest of your day. Again, thank you so much for hanging out with me all the way through the workout. I hope you have a great day, a great rest of your week, and I will see you in the next video when I'm able to get another one out. I will get one out as soon as I can, and I will see you soon. Again, thanks so much. Bye-bye.